Hey guys, so I was wondering and contemplating about how AI can actually help us to balance and heighten our sense of divine feminine and divine masculine, because essentially AI gives us the capacity to integrate the divine masculine, this energy of a non-judgmental structure, because AI can't really judge you right now, at least not right now. But for now, what you could do is when you have creative ideas, like I can't tell you how many songs I've written using AI, even though they didn't make it into my music. It was just sort of like this motivation to create something better or to make it more human. So I wanted to look at the energy of the day, because we do have a full moon in Sagittarius at apex for me on the Pacific at 3:51 a.m. and it's currently at 8 degrees Sagittarius. It was a 2-degree full moon in Sag, so it was more about our feelings around what we're believing and how we are allowing our feelings to support our beliefs. And today I was listening to a pep talk about how from 2011 to now, how much has things come together and how many things have fallen out of your life that you were so convinced in 2011 needed to be there. How many things since 2011 you've been able to grow and expedite and expand upon. So with inside degrees, 0 degrees Gemini is that 30 degrees Taurus placement, and that's snakes at rest on a rock in the sun. And then Gemini is the sun at 3 degrees is a dense thicket of brambles surrounding a magical castle. Oh my God, this is so wonderful. Okay, so externals, obstacles, postponements absorb your mind. Forefront affairs fascinate and divert. Semblances entice. So I feel like even applying this to my concept about AI creating a non-judgmental masculine structure for us to implement our lives into the creative needs, the urges, the feelings and sensations. Because I have a newsletter I subscribe to, and they said AI is not going to replace your job. Someone using AI will replace you. And you know, it's something to where it's like I've spoken to many people in the past few days because I was traveling, and one man said that he would have been at what he was doing for like a full month. And what AI has done is it's allowed for him to feel more secure about what his plans were to begin with and not give up. Because I feel that as creatives, as artists, if things don't take, we give up. But really, AI can give you backup plans, and it could just generate more confidence in your approach to being creative overall. So the outer world sort of like fascinating, divert, semblances entice. I'm not sure what semblances mean, but the one who goes for all of this is one dimension of selfhood. Another dimension is waiting in a perfectly intact place of undiminished life force. The third dimension mediates between these two, keeps self and world guessing off balance. So I would say it's like one of these is AI, one of these is your own creative force, and then that undiminished life force. And the third is what could be if we combine the two. So it's almost like a hyper structure to where it's like it's hyper extending itself and bending what is, like what we see and perceive and consider to be permissible, like what we consider and say, yeah, that could be done, I can do this, I can manage this. But there's always something that we cannot anticipate, because that's what happens whenever it's more than us. You know, there's ourselves, first decan of astrology, ourselves interacting with the world, and then the third decan is what happens through these levels. So the third decan is when we law of attract things, and it's something that I feel that if you're willing to use technology and be ahead of the curve with your big ambitions and dreams, that we could often give our power away and end up spending tons of money on something that, while it's a great idea, it's not necessarily the only way of going about things and doing them. Juggling, dissembling, playing and pretending, being so many things at once that it's impossible to think about. You're cast loose in a mythic landscape, wandering forever, yet always right there, doing just what needs to be done and disarming all expectations, including your own. All bets are off whenever you use AI, because it's like when we are able to program it with the right questions, even if it's just what we can come up with right now, that can move us ahead. And then we can ask better questions as we go and develop and use this as an appendage, which really it can be that for us. And it doesn't have to be doomsday, I'll never paint again. Like, the thing is, AI paintings will be AI paintings and human paintings will be human paintings. And sometimes people will want the human's touch going into what it is that they call home or their workplace or whatever environment that people, are seeking these things. And then Sagittarius at 8 degrees. The harsh landscape of the moon with the black sky, the earth is not visible. That's so interesting because it's the exact opposite. Like, the moon all night was super big and bright and like beaming in through my house, and I loved it, but it was very it woke me up. And then if you follow me on my Instagram, I have a picture of the moon. Literally, the clouds were covering it to where it looked like a smile, smiling at me, and then it came out and I took more pictures, but it was awesome. When chaos joins forces with hard and heavy dense frequencies, we are in for an exceedingly difficult journey. The feeling level is depressive and anguish susceptible. The energies are chaotic and almost random. The result is undercurrent and undertow that is vicious. All seems hopeless. The situation contains no relief in sight. In the thick of this dilemma, a momentum towards the future is being seeded in one of two directions. Either you are condemning yourself to grim and forbidding territory as a form of self-punishment for being so far off, or you are preparing the way for change of heart towards compassion and forgiveness, even for your own greatest weaknesses. It all depends upon whether you can allow in a spiritual light of redemption for the worst, or whether instead your mind is made up and another round of no nourishment at all is in order for one who is lost and now has no way back. That is, until you let the light into this terrible darkness and radically relent from your judgmental stance. So for those of us who are in our divine feminine and we are wanting to create and we don't, that's when we become toxic feminine and we start to project onto others our own circumstances, because it's emotional, it's a frequency, it's literally an energy that we don't get to say consciously. It's something that is radiating through our being, through our person. So again, with balancing our energies, the sacred container of our vessel, we have thoughts, feelings, ideas, beliefs that can express themselves creatively or destructively. If we hold a non-judgmental structure around who we are, our identity, what we call ourselves, who we perceive ourselves to be, with using structures like AI. If you don't have anyone to bounce your ideas off of, and the only people you go to never really get you, AI's got your back. So as a painter, as a musician, as someone who is a life path 7, like I need the internet to help me to make money, because I wander in the world and feel like, these poets, Rumi and Gibran, people who ended up kind of like dying on the streets, which is not my circumstance, it's not my story anymore. Since 2011 to now, the timeline has shifted so radically, and coming into compassion would be using AI. Coming into compassion would be saying it's okay that my ideas aren't really taking off right now, but they will, because I'm going to be compassionate and give myself tools that can help me to move myself forward. Aloha.